Hello, it's George again. If you fancy reading something absolutely childish that quite possibly may well be the most offensive thing you've ever read, then buy my best-selling book. You can also sign up for my Patreon for hundreds of hours of exclusive content and, of course, check out my own Funkyspectrum website for more videos. Links will be in the description, and like and subscribe here if you want to be kept up to date with all the nonsense on YouTube. Now, let's get to the video.
Hello, it's George again, and this is Chef on the Game & Watch. Yet another Game & Watch title, fresh off the grill, but judging from what this chef's cooking up, you maybe want to stay clear of this restaurant. Want to find out more? Let's find out more right now, as we get into the menagerie stroke kitchen in Chef on the Game & Watch. Okay, here we are, game one, dashing into the game, and it's a chef, but not as we know it, ladies and gentlemen, because this chef fries up a large piece of dung that's also coveted by a coprophagic cat, and then also he's got another piece of dung that's held together whimsically by a piece of string in the middle that the dog or cat or even a human being has let loose of it has actually swallowed, and bloody hell, he's thrown that one really high up into the air that time. He's lucky that piece of shit didn't get stuck to the roof, and he's also got a fish, so he's got some kind of food, but basically all of this stuff would be served in a bilious kind of ichor that you can see bubbling away on the stove inside that kettle, sort of like a mixture between hot fat, a vast quantity of salt and a small amount of urine. But yeah, you can see the mouse is also waiting on the floor, and this is a disgusting kitchen with a cat running loose, all the broken tiles on the floor, the mouse, the chef that's been driven wild by coprophagic lust, and of course it's a disgusting place to work, and again slightly politically incorrect. I'm not sure where this is supposed to be. Perhaps it's somewhere in Eastern Europe, but that is not me making a supposition that in Eastern Europe most of the restaurants serve fried excreta. No, it's just that it's not immediately obvious, and I thought maybe the Japanese have been somewhat around the world with these games. There's a lot of different areas covered in them. Bloody hell, but I'm managing to juggle these turds fairly effectively. I hope to Christ no one actually ever eats them, but I don't know really what he's supposed to be doing with regards to cooking them. It's not really much of a chef's practice, just a bloody lousing around in the kitchen, throwing various pieces of excreta up into the air, but as a cat forks it from the edge. The cat's basically forking it like one would fork a beef Wellington, but this is more like a jobby plimsoll. It's saying, no, it's not ready yet, flip it some more, grill it some more, and then I shall slake my bottom-based thirst by going just licking up all the oils and disgusting muck from all around the side of it. Oh, by the way, can you put on some of that brown ichor, please, as they ask for in the East End? Oh, it's green ichor in the East End, or green liquor that they have on the sort of pie and mash and the pie and mash shops. In this place, that cat's absolutely obsessed with having the brown liquor, and probably the chef actually picks up the cat and holds it over like a vet over the kettle and just squeezes really hard on its belly so it passes the bilious juices out of it. Oh, bloody hell! And the lucky mouse, he's managed to get the one thing in the kitchen that's perhaps slightly edible, but let's have a little bit of a piss about with him. Let's feed him a shit and see how he gets on with that. There he goes, charging off to the end. It's weird because the shit actually turns into a fish, so perhaps if you look at the screen as it's passing by when the little mouse runs past, the shit does actually turn into a piece of shit with the string connecting it, and then it turns into a fish. So perhaps once he's shaken off all the outer flatus, there he goes, he caught the fish there. But I'm going to have a little go at game B. Here we go, start game B. Bloody hell, there's four pieces of flatus that I've got to figure out. There's a piece of flatus on the end with a bone sticking out of it. Jesus Christ alone knows what's beneath there. There must be a dog in this kitchen, because humans can't really tend to eat things with whole bones on them and pass them out. I remember one time Mr. Bundles he pulled a core of a corn and the cob out of the bin, and he ate the bloody whole thing. I went mental about it because I thought he was going to have a stomach obstruction or something, but then about 3 days later I found literally the wooden piece of the centre of a corn and the cob. It was about bloody 4 or 5 inches long, poking out of a piece of fresh excrement in the garden. It was incredible. I just sort of saw it from the edge. I called my dad to go and have a look at it, and he brought it over so that I could inspect it. I don't think he was very happy about about that, but he was sort of laughing at the time. Thought it was quite funny. My dad does like a bit of a bit of bottom humour after all. But yeah, he's willing to testify as well that Mr. Bundles did actually eat a whole corn on the cob, or the remains thereof, and actually shat out the whole thing. Imagine that navigating its way around your guts. So it's pretty much a hard, solid piece of 4 or 5 inch wood. Oh Jesus Christ! Bloody mouse has got me again. So quite an interesting game. This quite simple, quite like other ones. A bit like Helmets, a bit like a few of the other ones from the Gold series. Really, quite simplistic, but quite good fun. I'm not sure I would really. I wouldn't like to have this one personally, unless I was a completionist collector, which I'm not for these. I bloody can't afford to be. I can't even afford to buy one, let alone a complete load of them. But Chef, interesting game and watch. Okay, bye.